Hi, I'm Ranj, the bearded plumber. In this video, I'm going to basically do a very simple little short video just to show you how to prove that a zone valve is faulty. And what normally goes faulty is the synchro motor inside the zone valve. This synchro motor, although it has two orange cables, one is actually live and one is neutral. And when power comes down these cables, this little spindle here spins. I don't know if you can hear it, but there you go, so it spins. So this zone valve is from a job that I removed from a few weeks ago because it wasn't working. So just to give you an overview of the cables, the green and yellow is earth, blue is neutral, and the brown is your 230 live. Grey is normally 230 live permanent, and then when the clock or the programmer or the thermostat sends a demand, it would send a demand down to the brown, and this brown would then become live, and therefore the motor would spin, and inside the body there's a little micro switch, would then make a contact, and then the permanent live from the grey would go down the orange and trigger the boiler to fire up. So currently I'm not really bothered too much about the grey and the orange just yet. I want to just show you that currently right now there is power in these cables. So if I turn on the multimeter, and I'll stick first of all that into the blue and that into the brown, and there you go, 230, 226, so yeah, about 230 volts. This is live right now. So because this is live, this arm should be free, but there's a lot of resistance, and that resistance is because the motor inside is knackered. So I'm going to open that up. So yeah, you should isolate it electrically, but I'm just going to show you. So that's what it looks like on the inside. So I will actually isolate the power to it right now. It's now dead. So now, because it's dead, we can safely work on this motor now. So as I said, the brown and the blue in this fly lead over here is basically this brown and blue here. And then the orange and the grey, like I was saying, so there's a micro switch inside, just there, that micro switch. So the grey would be normally your permanent live, and as power comes into the motor would spin, and as the motor moves, it would make down inside there, you see that brass arm that's moving, it would make that micro switch, and once that micro switch makes, the orange would become live and switch your boiler on. So for now, just to show you how to test that the motor is faulty without having to actually remove the cover off this, if isolate the power and take the live and the neutral out from the motorized valve and set your multimeter to resistance, there should be a measurable resistance here, 2 kilo ohms. But here we're getting almost like, mega ohms. It's definitely almost open circuit. So therefore, as this open circuit, if we remove the connections of the motor, that comes out there. And now we test at the motor itself. So what I've gone and done is I have looped the cable onto the needle of my test probe, touching the other test lead to the other cable. As you can now see, it's OL. And if you would actually hold the ends as well, as you can see now, it's also giving a reading because your body is passing some sort of measurable resistance through the cables. So you don't want to be touching the ends when you're doing testing. So it's open line. And here is a brand new synchro motor. There you go, about 2 kilo ohms. So that is definitely working. There you go, about 2 kilo ohms. That's a working motor. So now what we'll do, we'll put it in to install a new synchro motor. This one here basically has one screw there. Get a better close up, that one there. So we just undo that screw. You have to completely remove it and just obviously make sure it doesn't get lost. The motor slides out of the way because there's a locking arm just there. Slide it out the way, out comes the motor. So here's the micro switch I was talking about. So this micro switch, the grey usually is your permanent live, and it's sitting there ready for this motor to, once it spins, like I was saying, it would move the brass arm. This brass arm there, that's moving now. It would move the brass arm. That clicking sound, it would make contact, and then this orange would become live, and that orange would then fire your boiler up. So now to put this motor in. There you go. Bit fiddly that one. Yep, that's that. And now to put the screw in, grub screw. So that's back in. Just move the arm to make sure it fully engages into the spindle. It doesn't matter which way you connect this, they just got to go basically to the brown and the blue. So we'll close this off. Just wrap the cables around nicely. Get the cover, slide it back on. Make sure no cables are getting caught. That goes that so. That's back in. So power is still isolated. Blue goes to blue. So now that power is back in, let's just test for voltage. And there you go, 230. We have 230 volts present. And now you'll notice this arm is totally free. Let's move the cable out of the way. So the motor has spun, moved it over, and to now know that this motorized valve is working, there should be now continuity between these two cables, which there is. There you go. You can hear that buzzing sound. There is now continuity because the micro switch is making, because the motor is working. So that is the most simplest way that I thought I'd show you how to diagnose, is your motor faulty inside your zone valve. And you can buy a motor replacement, I think, for about £15, and whereas a new body and you know, a brand new zone valve from Honeywell especially is about 100 quid. So a nice quick easy repair, and it doesn't take up much space in your van. This one came in a box like so it was like, you know, in a little box. Just to show you guys also, actually, in the one that I got as a replacement is by the brand Tower. So Tower motor, and it came with these little crimp covers that you can twist the cables and just crimp it, and even spare screws in case you lose the screws that hold the motor in place. But I just use normal terminal connections, just because in case in the future it ever goes wrong again, you can always just do a quicker repair rather than finding the right parts. But that's how it got delivered to me. I hope this video was useful, and just to let you know, the only tools that I used to diagnose this issue was my multimeter. So obviously I used a multimeter, but you could also use a voltage and a continuity tester. So to do this with a dedicated voltage and a continuity tester, all you really have to do, just test for voltage like so. So it's got your 230 there, and then continuity between your grey and your orange. So this tester, obviously, without having to press any buttons and change settings, could be an easier option. But if you want to go deeper into testing and confirming, you know, exactly measurable resistances, a multimeter is your best option. So in my setup of tools, I have the Testo 760-2 multimeter and a Fluke T130 voltage and continuity tester. I've got Fluke leads that I use because these are the twisting types. So that's gives you a bit more protection when you want to be a bit more safer around other live conductors. And just my normal wearer, 3.5mm screwdriver. And yeah, don't need a lot of tools to diagnose this fault and to rectify the fault. That's all you really need, and at most maybe a wire stripper to strip some wires back. And that was it. And I will try to upload more as the weather gets better now. I'm not so much in demand due to the weather being warmer and not being out on breakdowns, and I will try to get more content out there for you guys. Find my videos useful and helpful, just let me know what else you would like to see. I do have a few boilers to strip and take apart just to show you how they look on the inside. They're all lying in my, as I call, boiler graveyard in my shed, and they will be stripped very soon. But for now, this was just a quick little video. And as usual, if you find my videos useful and helpful, please give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, share. If you didn't like something, also please let me know. Again, I'm always open to positive criticism. Till next time, I'm gonna love you all and leave you. And until next time, live long and prosper, guys, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.